If you're in a leadership role, you know the feeling, right? That internal static, that constant hum of stress and anxiety that just clouds your judgment. Well, today, we're going to unpack a really powerful framework to help you cut through that noise, find some clarity, and lead from a place of peace. Okay, let's dive in. And let's just start with a really big question because it gets right to the heart of everything. For so many leaders, the biggest battles you fight aren't in the boardroom. They're inside your own head. It's that anxiety that can end up calling the shots, shaping your decisions, and, let's be honest, kind of running the whole show. So where does all this anxiety actually come from? Well, the source material for this points to this really fundamental clash between fate and desire. Think about it. It's that gap between the outcome you so desperately want, hitting that quarterly target, landing that big client, and the reality that's actually playing out. When what is doesn't match what you wish would be, that's the exact spot where stress is born. But here's the good news. There is a way to navigate this conflict. The key is to get to know the different characters that are running around inside your own head. So think of this next part as a map to your inner world, where we'll meet 3 distinct minds, or persons, that are constantly pulling the strings. First up, we've got person 1. You can also call this the animal mind. This is your most basic, fundamental state, just pure, passive awareness. You know that feeling right when you first wake up, before all the thoughts and the to-do lists start racing? You're aware, but you're not really doing anything. It's just a state of being, a kind of mental stillness. And then there's person 3. This one is the hijacker. This is your default reactive mind. And man, is it fast. It runs on autopilot, fueled by old habits, strong emotions, and gut reactions. You get an upsetting email and bam, you feel that immediate surge of anger or panic. That's person 3 grabbing the steering wheel. This mind is the real source of our reactivity and anxiety. And finally, we have the one we really want to empower. Person 2, the wise CEO of your mind. This is your awakened, self-aware intelligence. Person 2 has this incredible ability to watch person 3's emotional storm without getting sucked into the tornado. It's the part of you that can pause, analyze, and choose a response with real clarity and compassion. This, right here, is the seat of true leadership. So this chart just lays it all out, side by side. You've got person 1, the passive observer. Then there's person 3, the reactive hijacker who causes all the trouble. And of course, person 2, the wise CEO who brings the clarity. The main takeaway here is that you have all 3 of these within you all the time. The goal isn't to get rid of the hijacker, but to learn how to let the wise CEO be the one in charge. Okay, so knowing who's who in your head is a great first step. But how do we actually put that wise CEO in the driver's seat when things get tough? Let's get into some really practical, actionable tools you can start using today.
The first tool is what we'll call real-time awareness. It's really about catching person 3 in the act. The second you feel that familiar spike of anxiety creeping in, you consciously interrupt the pattern. So, step 1, just notice it. There it is. Step 2, ask yourself a simple question like, am I relaxed and calm? That tiny, tiny pause, it's everything. It creates just enough space for person 2, your discerning intellect, to step in and just observe the feeling instead of being completely owned by it.
Now, this slide shows a much deeper shift in how you can approach your work. On the left, you've got desire-bound action. That's when your peace of mind is completely tied to the result. It's an emotional roller coaster, right? But on the right, we have what the source calls duty-bound action. Here, your focus is just on doing the task, performing your duty to the absolute best of your ability. When you let go of your attachment to the outcome, your peace becomes internal. It's yours. It's no longer a hostage to whatever happens next. And here's another tool. It's simple, but it is incredibly powerful. It's called the Mangalacharya practice. All it is repeating the phrase, "May there be happiness for all." Now, I know it might sound a little out there, but what it does is genius. It shifts your focus outward, away from your own ego and your own anxieties. This simple act of wishing well for others helps quiet down that impulsive chatter from person 3 and strengthens the compassionate, clear-sighted voice of person 2. You know, when you start combining these tools, something really profound starts to happen. This stops being about just managing stress. It's about transforming the very act of leadership into a daily practice, moving from just reacting to your circumstances to actually leading from a place of deep, what you might even call a fate-guided vision. I mean, take the example from the source material of the AI entrepreneur who built a $10 billion company. People said his vision was so powerful and so aligned, it didn't feel like he was just chasing a goal. It felt like he was fulfilling a destiny. That's what it looks like when a leader is operating from person two. Their actions just have this sense of purpose and clarity that seems to be in perfect harmony with the way things are meant to unfold. And the ultimate destination on this path is something called karma yoga. This is the idea that you can transform your everyday business activities into a kind of spiritual practice. By doing your work without being attached to the results, and doing it with an attitude of gratitude, your job stops being a source of stress. It actually becomes a way to dissolve the ego and find real, lasting internal peace. So, the payoff for all of this? It's huge. We're talking about moving beyond just reacting to things all the time. It's about overcoming those knee-jerk patterns, dissolving that anxiety that's driven by the ego, and finding a deep, profound sense of inner peace. And from that place, you can lead with an incredible, unshakable clarity and purpose. So, that brings us to our final thought. As you go about the rest of your day, just start to notice. Pay attention. Are you operating from that passive awareness of person one? Are you getting hijacked by the reactive person three? Or are you tapping into the wise, discerning clarity of person two? Just ask yourself, which mind is leading you right now?